Hey there, Liza here, and I'm bringing to you another retro episode. Yeah, this one is going back, again, about 10 years ago, and with none other than AMA Hall of Famer Mike Corbin. Now, we're fortunate enough that he's a local guy and the Corbin shop is here. So we were able to take our entire studio and set it up in the R&D department at the Corbin factory. Have Mike sit down with us and tell us about his long history of working with motorcycles, how he got into seats, how he set a world record, how he stole from the Navy. It's a fascinating story. The other great thing about bringing back these retro episodes is that I'm able to, using our newer software, I'm able to re-render it and clean it up. And this one had some buzzy sound to it originally. So now it's cleaned up and much clearer. And I'm so glad that if you've heard it before, you get to hear it better. And if you haven't heard it before, you're really going to enjoy this. So here is Mike Corbin. Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits, not at the Recycle Garage and not in sunny Santa Cruz, California.
We're in sunny, where?
Hollister, California, in the Corbin Garage. This is the Corbin Cast.
This is where the magic happens, apparently.
And we are in the middle of the garage, the R&D department, with all sorts of stuff. We'll describe what we're looking at around us.
Who's here today with us?
In the garage tonight, this is Liza. Next up, we have Zach.
Oh, hi.
We got Mike.
Hey, what's up?
Froot Loop. Jonathon.
This is your old friend Jonathon.
Knock.
Yes.
Bagel.
Aloha.
And the other Mike.
Hi.
Hey, that would be Mike Corbin himself. So again, thank you for letting us come down and do this. As I told you, we like to feature Northern California. Like, this is our biker community. This is our, we're so lucky, all the community we have here in Northern California, especially to have people who have really accomplished and added to the whole motorcycling thing for years. And our second AMA Hall of Fame guest.
That is
so
correct.
This is pretty cool too.
Yep. Craig Vetter.
AMA Hall of Fame, dude. This is Mike. You look starstruck.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Or you haven't had your coffee.
Yeah, not enough.
So, Mike, we're here to get your story, find out what's going on. I think most people know about Corbin, the Corbin factory, Corbin seats, but let's get the nickel history tour of how you started, how you got here.
Well, I started when I was young. This company full-time is actually almost 48 years old now.
Wow.
So we started full-time in 1968. Wow. And I made seats for 2 or 3 years before that part-time.
Wow.
I was an electrical contractor, and I did it on the side. So now the next goal is a couple more years. I'll actually have 50 years as Mike Corbin.
Cool.
So, okay, you started out, you were in the, let's see the story, you were in the Navy.
I was in the Navy when I was 17, and I was out a couple months before I was 21 years old. And then I became an electrical contractor.
And was that where you learned about the world of motorcycles, or did you start earlier?
No, I started earlier, and when I was 14 and a half, I stole this guy's BSA.
Right. That's a statute of limitations thing you're asking about.
Yeah.
Of course,
I think you're safe.
This is before he taught me how to ride it. Yeah. So I hit a tree down at the end of the street.
Ooh.
You really did steal it.
And bent his front end.
Oh, man.
So then he came up my house and beat me up.
Wow.
My father finally stopped him. He didn't stop him right away.
That'll learn him. Teach him a lesson.
Right.
That's enough.
Making my job easy.
Oh, man.
So then I had been saving money for years, and I had to go buy a new set of fork tubes and learn how to install them on a Lightning. Okay. So I fixed the guy's bike, and that's how I started.
So you were mechanically inclined, or?
Yeah, I was kind of a science club kid. You know, I was kind of a geek when I was a kid.
So, do you think that motorcyclists are born this way? Or does society create them?
A little from column A, a little from column B, maybe? Or?
Well, you know, I know how we started. My brother and I, we went to the Wild One movie. Mm-hmm. And we decided that he was the freest, toughest guy we ever saw.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think, the movie came out in 54, so I was 11, and my brother was about 8, you know. And my father forbid us to drink beer, smoke cigarettes, or go to the Wild One movie. So we stole a quarter shape of beer, a few Camel cigarettes. Of course, in those days, you could smoke in movies. And we went to watch the Wild One every Saturday that we could.
That was back in the time when there was no such thing as buying it on VHS. You had to go to the movie every time you wanted to see it.
Yep.
It was only the Orpheum. That's all we had.
Yeah.
Wow, and that turned out to be somewhat prophetic now that you're here in Hollister.
Yeah, that was a long story, a long trek, and we ended up here, yeah.
Which I think we've mentioned before, but Hollister was where the event happened. That was the basis of the movie, of the bikers coming into town.
That's right. The incident happened in 46, then in 47 they nixed the rally as a result of the famous exposure from Life magazine and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So everybody was overly paranoid. And then the movie was made and came out in 1954. Marlon Brando and Lee Marvin.
Okay.
Which really created the bad biker image. It really spread that.
It did, and the incident was nothing more than a little bit of shuffling around.
Yeah.
That photo is staged, from what I understand, right? The infamous photo of that dude on the bike or whatever, from what I understand.
Well, he wasn't even a motorcycle rider.
There you go.
They actually propped him up. No, they did. He was that guy, and he had kind of like work khakis on.
Yeah.
They sat him on a bike, and then they put a bunch of beer bottles all around him, took a picture for Life magazine. So what's different? They're selling magazines. They're all happy.
Yeah.
They don't care what they do to us.
Yeah, they're just looking for the controversy to sell more paper.
But, not so much these days, but in those days, you think the 40s, so you're just post-WW2, right?
Right.
People believe what Life told them.
Right.
And they believe what the Wall Street Journal told them. I mean, we don't believe anything they tell us anymore, but and it did. It shaded motorcycling.
Hey, but it's given us all cool cred.
Yeah,
Except for Bagel.
Wait, you mean
Sorry, they need to make a badass movie about
scooters.
Scooters. We haven't.
They're working on it.
So let's see. The legend goes: you had a bike, you made a seat for it. I guess my question is, why did you make a seat for a bike? Did it need one?
Yeah, well, I was in the Navy, and I was on an aircraft carrier, but one of our ports was Alameda Naval Air. Mm-hmm. So this is in 61, 63, in and out of there all the time. And I used to go over to Broadway at night, and the Hells Angels were kind of getting started up.
Right. Oakland.
And we used to watch the Hells Angels and think that we would like to be a Hells Angel someday. And we admired their just freedom. These guys do what they want to do. And here we are. We're sailors. We got to get these short haircuts and have white hats on. And so that was appealing to me. And the first bikes that were street choppers, after the bobber thing, the Hells Angels kind of got the street chopper thing going. They would take Ironhead Sportsters and extend the front end, and they put different kind of ape handlebars on them and Bob Defenders. And that was really the first custom street bike besides bobbers, which was just before that. So we developed a taste for what those guys do, and everything they did is what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So then I got out of the Navy, and I went home to Massachusetts, and I bought a Norton Atlas because that was the biggest bike you could buy at the time. It was 750 cc's. Before that, I had a Triumph at 650. So then I was fooling around in my garage, and I bobbed the fenders, and I used a bicycle ape hanger bar because they didn't have them in real motorcycle bars in those days. You had to be careful you didn't bend it. Then I got to the seat, and it didn't look too good. So I took it all apart, and I reshaped it with an electric turkey knife and a hacksaw blade and some sandpaper. And the lady next door to me was a industrial seamstress, and she sewed up a really nice cover for it. So I think in 1965, I went to a rally at Grafton, New Hampshire. And just a side note, in those days when you went to rally, the bikes came in a motel room. Or they wouldn't be there in the morning, right?
Yeah, right.
This is before, like, there weren't really Japanese bikes there. This is all going to be British and American, right?
English bike world in the 60s.
Yeah.
Right.
I got all the numbers in my head if you want them. But so this guy, he had an Atlas, and he said, man, I like your seat. I want to buy it. I said, I can't sell you my seat. How am I going to get home? He says, well, it's really nice out. Fold your jacket up. Sit on that.
He's got it all worked out for you.
So he says, I'll give you $40 for it. So that's like $400 now.
Yeah.
So that's about what a simple seat's selling for these days. So I'll tell you, in 1965, nobody had $10 in their pocket, you know.
Yeah.
So I took his $40 and I went home, and I had my garage was a workshop. We used to make electrical panels in there. So I started making another seat. And my helper came along. He says, make me one from my Ironhead Sportster. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. It's just a hobby. And he said, well, you don't have to pay me next week. And I go, hey, Jimmy, you got a deal. I wasn't going to pay you anyway, man. So I made him a seat for his Ironhead Sportster, and he went to Sal Skirple's Harley Davidson in Hartford, Connecticut. And Sal was our big hero. He had won the Jack Pine the year before. And he was our motorcycle icon guy. And he said, where'd you get the seat? He says, well, Mike made it. He says, well, I thought he was an electrician. Yeah, he just does this. So I ordered 5 of them.
Cool.
Just like that.
So then I did it part-time for a couple of years, you know, and it built up. And my electrical business was kind of formulated in Connecticut around Pratt, Whitney, Sikorsky, Colts. I did a lot of industrial 3-phase electricity. Mm-hmm. And Nixon started running for president. You guys are too young to remember this.
Oh, not me.
So in 1968, he's the platform is I'm going to end the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we wanted it ended, but all my business was revolving around military companies, you know.
Yeah.
So I had to make a decision anyway. Am I going to be in a motorcycle business, or am I going to be an electrical contractor? Because I was really busy doing both. And I chose motorcycles, you know.
Always the right choice, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, at first it didn't seem like a great idea. I starved to death the first winter.
Oh, man.
Because I sold my electrical trucks to that same kid, Jim.
I
He
see.
bought both my trucks, and now I can't do electrical work on any scale at all. I was still wiring houses. And I starved to death the first winter. In 1969, the Easy Rider movie came out.
Right there.
Oh, man.
Yep.
And a Honda 750 K1 bike of the century came out.
Talk about
Yeah.
right place, right time.
Is that when you kind of found out, like, oh, wait a minute, I have a name now? Like, my Corbin, I make seats. This is what's happening?
Yeah, actually, you know, my real name's actually Hannigan.
Yeah.
And still is. And my mother told me, you have to get a fictitious name statement. You have to make up a company name to form a company. So I was sitting in my pickup truck in West Hartford, Connecticut at Corbin's Corner, and I go, oh, just Corbin Manufacturing. I like the way that sounds.
Cool.
And there it is.
So I went down and did that, put it in the paper, and I got like a little LLC thing from the state so I could take payroll taxes. And then everybody started calling me Mike Corbin.
Huh.
So a couple of years later, I went out and copywrote it and trademarked it.
Okay.
All right.
cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you were actually Mike Corbin. That was like your last name.
Yeah.
It
I
is.
did not know that.
It's more than a second
on.
for me.
Well,
I
it
always
is
thought
now.
was like that.
Well, yeah, he created this
Sure.
persona. This is
Right.
Yeah. So
You don't really create it. It just kind of comes your way. It's like a butterfly. You can't catch them.
Yeah.
What about the Easy Rider movie?
The Easy Rider movie changed the world. So I'll give you those numbers.
yeah.
In the 60s, there was about 60,000 new motorcycle registrations in the United States each year. Mm-hmm. And about 35,000 of those bikes were Triumphs. Only 200,000 or so were Harleys.
Wow.
In the mid-'70s, with 10 years later, there was 1.5 million new bikes a year registered, and they were all Japanese.
Whoa.
Almost everyone was Japanese. So the world just literally exploded from 60,000 bikes a year to 1.5 million bikes a year.
Wow.
So in '68, I was starving to death, me and a couple guys. In the mid-'70s, 250 people making seats all day long.
Wow.
And you didn't have issues scaling that production up, did you? Or were you scrambling to get people to work for you? Or
in those days, it was easy to get people who were craftsmen.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
people would get out of high school and they wanted to learn trades.
right.
And we didn't have any choice. I mean, the telephone demand and the way things are going, you either go hide in the sand or get the job done.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a business model. I mean, this is not MBA stuff. I mean, the phone just jumped up and down off the desk all day long.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, because there was such a growth. It's like a bomb going on.
Yeah, that was just the natural response to it. You had to do it. Yeah.
We weren't business people. We were trying to figure out how to sew more Naugahyde.
Right.
Does that correspond with Vetter bearings?
Vetter is,
In the time
he's almost the same era. He started, I think Vet started full-time in '66, and he was an industrial designer.
Mm-hmm.
And he fooled around with fairings in college. And he was a little bit ahead of Arlen Ness and myself.
Arlen Ness, the grandfather of choppers.
Right.
All three of us, like Sonny Barger, Arlen Ness, Vet, a few more guys, all are in that same era. We're all about the same age now.
Yeah.
So I'm just grasping, you were there for the birth of the Hells Angels.
It wasn't really the birth of the Hells Angels. What it was is they were from L.A. before.
Yeah.
And then Sonny kind of got it going, got it more organized. He has natural leadership talent. Like, he's kind of like well organized, and he had been in the Army, and he understood leadership values and, you know, and credibility and trustworthiness and stuff like that. So he was a great leader, and he pulled those guys together in the 60s.
That's amazing. I'm going to have to do another just side interview sometime about that, because I'm fascinated with that whole thing.
What was your relationship with him?
Well, I didn't know him very well then. I admired him, and I used to say hi to him. We were a little bit standoffish, you know, because they were kind of like the tough guys, and we were just Navy technicians, you know what I mean? So we're all squared away.
Were you
know.
a squid? A squid?
No, I was actually a snipe.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's a difference.
So I'm curious. So what bikes were you riding? So you start this company now. You're all in, and are you the type of person who has one bike at a time, or do you have many bikes?
Yeah, where in the 70s, like?
Yeah, the birth of the 60s and the 70s.
Well, what I started doing is, it was hard to borrow bikes in those days, so I would buy the latest thing that came out. You know, I think I had the second K1 in Manchester, Connecticut.
Wow.
And
Sandcast.
and I had, you know, I was building custom bikes, but mostly we're not so much a custom bike builder. We're trying to develop parts for street bikes.
That's right. You were doing more parts then.
Yeah.
Not just seats. You were doing everything.
Yeah. So then we had one great invention, one great patent. Like the Honda 754 was the first one I did. And the seat, as you know, it flips on the hinges, right?
Right. Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, seat was terribly uncomfortable. So we made a seat with a backrest on it for the passenger, 14 inches high, welded it all up, and we still made it work on the hinges. So the whole seat flipped, including the backrest part.
Oh.
And I got a U.S. patent on that, and that kept us going for years.
Yeah.
And I applied it to a lot of other bikes, too. Self-supporting high-back motorcycle seat.
Mike, I got a question. So it sounds like originally you started making seats, and it sort of took off with people you knew, kind of sprung to life on its own. Did it become your passion, or was it just such that you start doing this thing, and then oh man, people are buying them, so you kept doing it.
Opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, well, when I was when I was going through high school, I wanted to be an electrician. I built a robot in high school, and I used to be a remote control airplane. I was the first guy with an RC plane in my town.
Yeah,
Cool.
And I flew it into the high school, almost burned it down. We had a few rockets land on the fire department.
this is
That
great.
was our side hobby.
Things crashing and exploding.
Oh yeah, things happen.
Yeah.
And we were always innocent.
Yeah.
Every time.
Oh, yeah.
But so I wanted to be an electrician. I had gotten into college, but my parents didn't have any money. And in those days, even if you got a little scholarship, you couldn't afford to go to college if your parents didn't have any money. So I decided, well, the next best thing is I'll just join the Navy. I'll see the world, and I'll come out and I'll be a master electrician. So that all worked out pretty well.
Good plan.
But I didn't, and I love motorcycles. I stole that kid's BSA. Then I had a Lambretta scooter.
Oh, there you go, Bagel.
Cool.
Then when I was in a senior, I bought a Triumph, and I rode that to California when I was in the Navy. And I had it for a couple of years, and I sold it before I got out of the Navy, and went home and bought an Atlas. But
Okay.
I never saw a way to be part of motorcycling. I thought you had to follow through with your professional trade ambition, to be able to support yourself.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I wanted to be a motorcycle dealer,
Yeah.
But I had a good ability to make things, like electrical panels, and I was a automation troubleshooter in the Navy. So I learned a lot about how to make things and get ideas and solve problems, and that's what I did on the Ranger. And so when I made the first seat, it was actually really easy for me.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you had this burning passion to make seats. You just were like, well, this thing needs a seat, so I'll make it.
Yeah, well, I wanted to fix my bike up and go to Grafton and
Yeah.
have the coolest Atlas in town, and
Sure.
I did that, so my bike was pretty cool. I didn't look that cool leaving without a seat, but I had the $40.
So I want to make sure we don't completely skip over this badass moment that just flew past. You rode a Triumph cross country.
country.
What
I was
size
about to
Triumph?
Well, that's another good story. So I had a Triumph Bonneville, and 1960, and I went to boot camp in school at the Great Lakes, and I went back to Boston after I graduated from school, and I had to get to San Francisco. So I did pretty good in electrician school, so you get to pick your billet,
Yeah.
what's available in the Navy. I go, man, San Francisco, USS Ranger, that's as far as away from Boston as you can get. I'm going there. So I sent my sea bag on a Greyhound bus to San Francisco to a gas station. I called the guy. And then I rode my Triumph across country. And you learn you can't go much over 65 miles an hour on a 60 Bonneville.
Right.
It'll break apart, right? Mm-hmm. So it took me about a week. And so I go on a ship, and this is what they call strikers now. So you get out of school, and you're not really a certified electrician in the Navy yet until after about a year, So there's this old chief there, and he goes, so you graduated from A school. Yeah. So you think you're an electrician? You think you can fix things on an aircraft carrier? And I go, well, I'll tell you, Chief, I rode from Boston here on a Triumph.
Carrying the Prince of Darkness with you the whole way, huh?
Badass moment.
And he goes, you're going to be okay.
I got Lucas behind me right now.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about how you merged being an electrician and the motorcycle world.
Well, being an electrician was good because, you're hands-on fix-it guy. You have a really good ability to learn how things work. Then I made the seat. I didn't plan that. My father was actually a chair designer when I was a kid, and my grandfather was a tailor. But I didn't want to learn what they knew. I wanted to, like, my father was a tool maker, chair designer. This little town I was from was the chair capital of the world in the 40s and the 50s.
What town are you
Gardner, Massachusetts.
from? All right. I lived in Boston for a while.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gardner, they still sell furniture there in Gardner, right?
Yep.
I went to Harvard, but I know Boston a little bit. But I didn't think it was going to be a product. I just went to the rally. Then I realized, hey, people will buy these. And then I realized I can be in the motorcycle industry, which is what I love doing.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I worked is to have a bike.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
Children eat food too. You need to get that too.
Sure, sure.
But then I realized I can be in a motorcycle business, so I chose that.
It's kind of your way into the way into that world. It's kind of like the way you could sort of marry into that world with some skills that you seem to have naturally.
Yeah. And they would buy the seat.
Right.
And it was at a profit, so I could support my wife and 3 kids and do it.
It's fascinating too that your father was a furniture maker and your grandfather was a tailor. It almost seems like what you originally started doing with the seats was almost a marriage of those two skill sets.
Yeah, and I love talking about the seats. I really think that there's some genealogy there, because right off the bat we get on top of the whole industry. I mean, we were it. We had the first actual factory that made aftermarket seats. Before that, seats were made by tailors or trim shops or redone stock seats.
Right.
So we were the first one that said, we have a line of aftermarket seats. See what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's so many different avenues I want to go down with you, so many questions, but let's just get the seat thing done, because I want to make sure people know Corbin seats are the best quality seat I've had many Corbin seats on my bikes, and people sit on it and go, it's so hard. How can you ride on this? Well, you go do 3,000 miles and it becomes apparent, the difference. The other thing, too, is in the garage that we all work in, this co-op garage where we fix up old bikes, we get old bikes donated all the time that have been sitting in somebody's yard. We'll get a rusty bucket of a bike for free, and the most valuable thing on it is the Corbin seat, because I've never gotten one with a tear. I mean, you just need to put some leather replenisher on there, and sell that on eBay. That'll pay for all the parts to fix up your bike.
Yeah.
Probably get you a new bike.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for Corbin seats, even things that you don't even realize you're getting on, like I think it's the Gunfighter, where you're getting actually lower back support. You don't even think it's there, but that just dips down so perfect. The other thing, I don't think, let's see, so if somebody is interested in a Corbin seat, there's a couple things that are pretty amazing that I don't think anybody is doing. One, you can order online, and you have this website now that you can design a virtual seat.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So you pick your bike, and then you can pick, this is the other thing, who does this? How many different colors and patterns, like alligator and crocodile and ostrich or carbon fiber, or have you added up how many different options somebody has?
You should see our safari guys that got to go out and kill all those critters. No, actually, and all those materials are actually cowhide, leather cowhide.
Yeah.
We don't use exotic material hardly ever anymore. We just realized that people like options.
Yeah.
And we run the whole gambit. We have carbon fiber for sport bike people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People like gators, and sometimes the only thing you can do with a black street glide is get on and get a really neat seat for it.
Yeah.
It's the only way it's your bike, really.
Yep, right, exactly.
You got a black street glide, half the market's got a black street glide, right?
Yeah.
Fringe, rhinestones, pinstriping, stitching, anything you want,
Our biggest challenge is, don't let the customer go too far and mess his bike up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, people will try too hard, and all of a sudden, we call them Tijuana seats. He said that was a really nice bike until he put 7 colors in his seat.
Yeah.
But you can do it. The other thing that is really above and beyond just almost any company of any type is that you can make an appointment, ride your bike here, and get suited up with, I call them the craftsmen. What are you calling them?
They're seat builder craftsmen.
Yeah.
We have wonderful people here. That's the secret to any business, is the people.
And they will custom make a seat and literally carve it to your ass.
Yep.
and then sew it up and send you off on the road with a custom to your ass seat.
Well, see, and then the big thing there is it really satisfies the riders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And couples come in with their bike, and we get both of them to agree. Here's the compromises for logistics and seating platforms.
That's
and colors.
impossible. Couples compromising. I can't believe you can do that.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's always a room negotiation.
Yeah.
But it's really good for the customer, and they love doing it. And there's not many places you can go and see anything being made. But the secret to Corbin and the sustainability of Corbin is we are so grounded with the people who ride our seats. We understand them. Mm-hmm. And, I'm an engineer, and I come here on Saturdays just to see what people pick out. Besides visiting with you folks today, I had good conversations with at least 8 people in customer service. So I'm knowing what they're thinking when they're coming through the door.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I see how satisfied they are when they leave. And one thing that almost never doesn't happen is they compliment us on our people.
Yep.
So our people know that the ball game goes like this. Mike knows, but those people thought of the job I did on their bike.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sorry, go ahead.
And that just reeks through the company.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're not here to work for Mike. We're here to make motorcycle people happy.
Cool. And that's like extremely rare where a customer could actually talk to the guy who owns the business and talk about the seat or even talk about a trip that they had earlier today.
Not just that. He's not just a guy who bought a business from somebody.
Right.
This is
the
a
guy.
biker dude.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Who likes to talk about biker shit.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, over the years, we've had a couple different companies think about buying Corbin, and in a couple of the recessions, it seemed like a pretty good idea to me.
Right.
But and they do their due diligence, and they come in here and they'll spend a week, and they get all done. This isn't Corbin motorcycle seats. This is Corbin and his family. There's no way you can deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it isn't just seats. I mean, we've got a slingshot behind me. Is that your slingshot?
Yes, that is ours. Yeah.
That you're custom designing these integrated like bags. They don't look like bags. It looks like part of the body that's going to give you storage under the tail. It's hard to describe a slingshot if you're not familiar with this 3-wheeled 2-seat vehicle, but you're not just slapping stuff on, you're making it integrated. So also behind me, let's see, we've got one of the new Triumphs or Ducati Scramblers that looks like it's getting a seat designed for that. And what's behind me? This is a Bonneville.
That's Carl's Speed Shop in Daytona Beach, Florida.
Yeah.
And anybody who studies Bonneville partial streamliners, Carl has always been on the leading edge. He was one of their first real fairing Sportster guys out there. And now his son rides that Doug, and that bike has about 14 different records.
Wow.
Wow.
In the last few years, the rules have been modified more and more on partial streamliners. So the body that came off the bike was from the old rules in the late 90s. But they've given us the ability now to make the tail longer and the nose longer. So we're making a new body for that bike. And that bike actually has about 6 engines. And these guys are serious. That's a serious bike. That bike will go over 250 like nothing.
Wow.
Jesus.
Because not only do you make seats, I mean, you make all this other stuff, but you have this amazing fiberglass workshop. So you really can make anything here.
We can make anything, and we're great students of aerodynamics.
Yeah.
So you go to the Slingshot. The Slingshot's the latest hot thing in the motorcycle industry. It's not really, it's in every industry. People buy them that never rode motorcycles. But they have almost no storage. And then the back is kind of hollow. It looks like a stink bug. You just got just kind of got the wheel sticking out, and it's got a high license plate thing, and you wonder, the wheel's out there by itself. It's kind of like an F3 Spider, So we designed the 2 saddlebags to go with the shape of the bike. Now, the ones you're looking at right now are in polyurethane plastic. But they're in the paint shop. A pair is in a paint shop, and we're going to take that to Sturgis with a pair of them all painted up.
Nice.
So that's our next marketing thing, is my friend is going to drive that thing around for 2 weeks in Sturgis, and every slingshot person is going to know saddlebags are available.
Did you design those bags yourselves, or did you have your engine? Yeah,
I had.
Great.
I gave a sketch to one of my best model builders.
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay, Fred, you got it." Got it. So he did the whole thing, and then we didn't have enough time, so my senior model builder, the guy that builds all the Sparrow stuff for me, he's been doing it for 30 years. I put him on the other bag, so they each did one bag to get it done in time for Sturgis.
Yeah.
We already have the seats in that car from Corbin. So that's a product development at its highest form. So we have a big investment in those molds. You know, we have a rotor molding process to make bags like that. And we do the Can-Am Spiders, too. We did the RS and then the F3 and all that, too.
So, I mean, basically, the bottom line is Corbin shit is cool.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Check this out. So I wanted to get back to, I was talking about merging your electrical world and the motorcycle world, because I guess you could say that the seats and the business have afforded you to explore new territories. So you did something pretty cool back in was it 68 when you made the electric bike?
The first, I started out in about 68 or 69 and made an electric scooter.
Okay, was anyone making electric two-wheeled vehicles then?
Nobody had a product.
Okay.
Nobody had a product. And then in 73, I brought the X1 on the market, so it was a 35 vehicle, wouldn't go 35 miles an hour for 35 miles. And we called it City Bike, and it was a Corbin Gentry product made in Connecticut. And it had 3 Exide batteries in it and a Baldor motor and chain drive. And we sold about 100 of those, and that was the gas line days. You guys probably don't remember the gas line.
Yep.
It's 73.
Yep.
So I thought we were going to have a great product, and it was going to help the company get bigger, you know. But then the gas came back, and we had probably a bad year financially and decided that we couldn't keep spending money on that. So we dropped it. So then that, everybody used to say in those days that electric vehicles was slow. So I set, in 73, I set the land speed record for electric motorcycle at 101.
Nice.
That was a big middle finger to him. Huh?
All of it. Oh, it was.
I got a question. If you had only gone 40, would you have set the record? Was there anyone else doing electric?
No.
Okay.
No. We couldn't even go to Bonneville. They said, "No, you're not coming to Bonneville." Well, we have an electric motorcycle. There's no way you guys are coming out here. First of all, you're from Connecticut, and we don't even. We're all from L.A.
Damn Yankees.
We're all from L.A. And you guys talk funny, and you're not coming out here. And the AMA doesn't want you out here. Nobody wants you out here. In those days, you had to have an AMA number and an SCATA number, right?
Yeah.
So I called the AMA, and I was a short tracker in New England Sports Committee, and they knew me a little bit. And I said, "What do I got to do to get a Bonneville number?" And they go, "Well, if we could help you with that." And we gave them a donation.
That's what
like
that
you
means.
helped them.
So they gave me 24A, which means, I don't know what it means, but it ain't good.
We could help you with that. Insert wink here.
Yeah. So that all went good. So we went out, and I got the record at 101.
Yeah. Go big or go home. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, go big or go home. And it was an aluminum chassis salt liner bike that carried a lot of Exide batteries.
Yeah.
And I used DC traction motors. And then I went home and got to thinking about it more and more, and I go, man, 200 is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everybody was saying, I never thought we'd see an electric vehicle go 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
And I was the first guy on a motorcycle, electric motorcycle, to go over 100 miles an hour.
I get a question. Another podcast we had where they were talking about the salt flats a little bit was that there's different classes to get in. There's different sizes of engines, and then I know you're dealing with this, Bagel, because you got to figure out where you fit in, and then like there's the one where you go, is it 10 miles? You have to go 10 miles and then come back. And then you do it twice, and that's how you get your record?
Well, there's the 3, the 5, and the 10.
It's not the 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's what you call a flying mile.
Yep.
So on motorcycles, basically, you got 2 miles to accelerate.
Yeah.
You take the light, and they measure you for the next flying mile. So mile 2 to mile 3 is the speed that they're going to get you at.
Okay.
Yep.
Then you start decelerating on 3. Liners, big bikes like 400 mile an hour stuff, they'll take it sometimes on a 4 to the 5 or a 5 to the 6, and if the track's long enough, it depends on the year, because the salt grading varies every year. But they measure your flying mile. Then when you're setting, you have to do a flying mile number to qualify.
Yeah.
Then the next day, or on Wednesday early in the morning, you go out there and you go that way, and within 1 hour, you got to come back and go the other way. On those 2 flying miles are average for your, and if you beat the existing record, you're the new champ.
So, did you go back the next year?
Yeah, so then this company, Yardney Electric, called me up, and they were in Pawcatuck, Connecticut, and they made silver zinc batteries for nuclear-powered submarines.
Cool.
And this guy, Dr. Petroselli, I'll never forget. He was a PhD of electrical engineer, naval engineering or something. He was president of his company. He was kind of a hellraiser. This guy. He had been a Navy, whatchamacallit, junior admiral or something. He had a PhD from Harvard. He goes, I'm going to tell you about energy density. Like you're the fastest guy in the world on an electric powered motorcycle with Sears batteries. So until then, no vehicles had moved on batteries other than lead acid cells.
Yeah.
Never. And I used to research it, and I could never find anything in the world that a vehicle moved on anything other than lead acid cell.
Road vehicles, at least.
Yeah, road vehicles. Probably moonshots, they had.
Yeah.
And that was it. Eagle Picture they made the batteries for the lunar rover, and that's all in the same era.
Cool.
So he says, we got silver zinc batteries, and they're 5 times better than lead. So I thought he was exaggerating.
And lighter?
Well, you just take the pound, and you get 5 times as much. You can
Power out of
yeah,
them.
you build to the weight of the bike, and if the physics comes out, you get about 5 times more energy. So I said, well, how much do they cost? He says, well, there's $100,000 worth of silver in it. Now, we're talking 1973, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
a lot of
damn
company
silver.
was trying to explode too.
That's a lot of $1973.
Yeah.
Right.
You remember how happy I was with the $40?
Right, right. Just like 5 years before, like you were pretty thrilled with $40.
Yeah. So I said, well, who has that much money for silver? He says, well, the Navy has a vault in our building. and it's an in and out register, and that's where they keep the silver for the nuclear powered submarine batteries.
Yeah.
But it all belongs to the Navy, I'm like. And I said, well, what do you do? He says, well, we take that silver out of the vault, and we build your batteries. I'm there, oh, man, don't tell the Navy about this. We knew a guy in Alameda who had stole a Jeep off of Alameda Naval Air. He went to Leavenworth for 15 years. Wow. So we built the battery, and we went to Bonneville, and we ended up with a record of 165.380 seconds. But we hit 200 miles an hour one day, and the trap broke, and we had a one-way trap speed of 191 one day.
Oh.
Wow.
So we were way up there, way out of the stratosphere on electric powered motorcycle.
And you're riding?
Yeah, I wrote it.
I get a question. I get another question because I know that there's like you guys, when you guys went to the factory for the Zero bikes, that like there's a lot of torque on them, and it's like a steady ride. But does the battery are you worried at any point that does it start out and just go, and then you get up to speed right away and you're riding that speed, or is it like a really gradual thing and then you lock it in?
Well, no, the modern Zero's a great bike.
Mm-hmm.
You have perfect control with that throttle. So the modern controllers, you can run that thing at 1 RPM. Mm-hmm. So it's up to you. But if you're not alerted and you go grab it like you would a gas bike, you'll get too much too soon. Mm-hmm. So what you want to do when you walk up to a Zero, and especially if you walk up to a Lightning, get a little indoctrination here, because you can kill yourself quick.
Yeah.
But both of them have beautiful controllers in them. You just want to realize that you're dealing with something that can give you all its torque in a microsecond. I mean, that bike can stand straight up and put you on your brain.
Yeah.
You know?
But does it lose? What I'm saying is, like, say if you're going for that first 2 miles, like, are you worried that as it's wearing out the battery, like, do you need to get up to speed and stay at speed as fast, like, as soon as possible, or?
It's about traction, isn't it?
No, the faster you get to speed, the more power you used.
Okay.
And then once you get to speed, the motor RPM comes up and it's a little bit more efficient, and it takes less power to cruise than it does to accelerate.
Kind of like highway miles.
It's like highway miles, and it would be just like if you watch a mileage on your gas car.
Yeah.
You know, you go stand on that thing and you're just burning gas, you know.
Yeah.
And you can learn how to do that by watching your gas car MPH or MPG, you know. It changes as you accelerate.
Yeah.
I got a GMC, and it tells you what it's doing all the time.
Yeah, if you're being economical.
Yeah. But in the old days, in Quicksilver's days in the early 70s, we didn't have controllers. I mean, there was no way to deal with that
It's like a
many
light
amps.
switch.
So we had the way Quicksilver set the record is I invented an electromagnetic controller. There was no electronic controllers that could deal with that kind of amperage.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I built this progressive magnetic controller. I started out at 12 volts, and then I went to 60 volts, and I went to 120 volts. So I'd take off like in steps. I had to tow it with a car up to 60 because the wheel would just spin on the salt. So we couldn't do a soft takeoff. You know, it was impossible. So we had a tow rope and then a release mechanism. So they towed me up to about 60, and I popped the tow rope out. But then the biggest problem with magnetic contactors is you can close them and they'll take the current, but you can't open them, or the arc will weld them. Oof. And you're on your way to Taiwan.
Yeah.
No, you got power and you can't get rid of it, right? So,
Right.
So I made this giant knife switch. Like on the negative line, I had a big switch.
Kind of like Frankenstein's laboratory. Like,
It looked like that. It was a copper bar about 2 inches wide, about 1/4 inch thick. It was about 1.5 feet long. It was on a hinge, and it went into a clevis, and then it had like a little release mechanism. Then I had a big fuse in parallel with it, and then I had a little compression release lever on my left thumb. And right after I would get through that trap, I'd hit that thing before I pulled the magnetics out.
Yeah.
And that's how I did it with a manual controller.
Okay, let's talk about the first time you're going these speeds. I mean, how do you prepare yourself for 200 miles? Are you just hold on for dear life and everything's a blur around you?
And it's like this near silent machine that you're in, right? 'Cause
I
you're in a
did everything. I was a marathoner. I used to run the Bonneville Salt Flats at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'd know the surface tensions.
Yeah.
I drank like a fish.
Water or alcohol?
I drank wine and Jack Daniels. I was.
Oh man!
I mean, I did everything that you have to do to go to Bonneville.
Are you an adrenaline junkie?
You get adrenaline automatically when you fool around with bikes that go 200 miles an hour.
No doubt.
Yeah.
right.
So, I can't even imagine what it's like at that speed, though.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I'm wondering is, did you go to Bonneville specifically to prove how fast electric bikes could go?
Yeah, I was a short tracker, and then I owned a motorcycle shop, and we had Rickman, so I was a trail rider. And
Rickman.
we had Triumph, Rickman, and BSA in Connecticut. And so I used to ride every Sunday in the firewoods on the fire trails in Connecticut, and it was really good. So I was in very good condition. And, I was 160-pound, 3-hour marathoner. So, I was doing okay. Not real fast, but, I was a good kid. Mm-hmm. And I think the drinking helped, though.
Help smooth everything out.
So in your showroom, you have kind of pictures around the top showing the history. That young buck in the pictures, is that you, that good-looking young buck?
Yeah, that's my Norton Atlas.
Yeah.
I used to have hair and no belly.
That is so cool.
What's funny, when I was young, I had hair like Elvis Presley. I really did.
Wow.
And I was a 160-pound marathoner, and nobody ever asked me for an autograph. Now I'm old and fat and bald, and everybody wants to sign me a seat.
Or a picture.
Yeah.
So you go and you set more records at Bonneville, and then what'd you have to do with that silver?
Well, we got home. We had a great week, and then finally we cracked the frame, so we called it quits. The 200-mile mark was right in our gun sight, and we never quite made it with that bike. And then we go home, and that Dr. Patricelli guy says, I'm sending a truck up to get you batteries. I go, well, I need them. I'm going to clean this bike up and take it to the Cincinnati trade show, right? And he says, oh, yeah, we'll bring you some empty cases, which are much lighter. And so I said, what happens to these? He said, we're going to recycle them and get that silver back in a vault before you go to Leavenworth. So they actually did that. They put all the silver back in, and there was like a fraction of a % loss. Yeah. Which nobody ever figured
So the
out.
silver came back out of the batteries of this bike that you've been beating the crap out of at Bonneville.
Yeah.
Went back into the Navy vault.
Yeah.
And they never knew.
and it's back to pure silver.
Yeah.
Like even the Navy, see, they did that. They recycled the batteries in Pawcatuck for the Nuki subs, and they would change them every cruise. You see, they didn't have to change the reactor, but they changed the batteries every cruise.
Right.
And so that was the operation. They had the whole recycling capacity and everything.
So they were accustomed to taking silver out of these batteries and reusing it.
They were already into that.
So you were working for the Department of Defense on your own time a little bit, I guess.
I got more out of the Navy on Quicksilver than I did when I was an electrician.
That's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if you have any good crash stories.
Well, we crashed a lot. None of them are good.
So Bonneville, no crashes?
No, I never failed at Bonneville, but I was very focused and very concentrated and very disciplined at Bonneville.
Because I'm wondering, too, I mean, you've got a long riding history that predates protective gear.
No, at Bonneville, we had full leathers.
Sure, but in the 60s and the 70s, the protective gear was not up to the par of what it is today. So there was more opportunity for some damage there. Were you like a cat, just somebody who just came through things unscathed?
No, I got scathed. Yeah, there's been quite a few. One time on Sunday, I was going down the road on my Triumph, and this lady pulled out of a liquor store and went right in front of me. And I had to put the bike on its side right now or hit it head on, right? And I got my forearms all scunned. And I had to walk around with them above my head for almost a week because of the blood pressure against the skin. You know, they were all scabbed.
Oh, man.
Then I got hit on a freeway up near Burlingame one time. I was on a BMW K bike in 88, and this guy hit me from behind on purpose.
Oh, jeez.
And I had 14 broken bones, and I went to Peninsula I was dead. And these two paramedics came running up there, and one guy, you're kind of levitating when you're dying, right?
Yeah.
One guy says to the other, oh, he's dead. And he says, well, get the oxygen. So he goes back to get the oxygen, and the other guy stands up and kicks me right in the heart with his heel. Started breathing again. Then they took me down to Peninsula.
Wow.
What?
Did you get the guy that hit you?
They did. They get him. He goes down to Half Moon Bay. This guy's crazy. I'm the third person he's hit with a vehicle.
Oh.
Really?
The sheriff walks in. He's in the bar bragging, I just hit a guy on a red bike on a freeway. He probably had a gun. Like he's like paranoia guy.
Oh, wait, you're on a BMW K bike.
Yeah.
That is not the image of a bad biker.
But it was red. It was Ferrari red. And wheels were gold. And well, he was just kind of a nutcase, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm the third person he's hit with a car.
Yeah.
And he's out of jail on probation from the state of California. They given him his meds. They got him a job, and they bought him the car. So I'm his third crime. So now he's going to go permanent, right?
Yeah.
But the sheriff walks into the bar to arrest him in Half Moon Bay, and he takes a bar stool, cracks him right on the head, almost killed him.
Holy crap. Ugh.
So he got the maximum sentence. But those are the two big ones I was in. I was in a lot of little ones, but.
And did any of these crashes prevent you from getting back on a bike again?
No, I never. It just takes a little bit of time,
That's true biker
That's
shit.
some real
right
biker
there.
shit. Yeah. Some crazy motherfucker tried to run me off the road. I got back on that.
That is
Yeah,
awesome.
my grandson, he crashed my quad here recently in the backyard. And he comes back, he's all scrubbled up and he's all embarrassed and everything. So I said, so Zach, what do you got to do? And he says, well, I got to wash my leg. I said, what are you going to do after that? He said, I'm going to go back on that thing. And I'm not going to crash it this time.
Yeah.
He's got it down.
So you might have felt, you must have felt proud, huh?
Yeah, I did. He's got good genes.
Yeah.
So I'm leading up to the question, but prior to the question, I'd like to know what some of your favorite bikes over the years have been.
I like all bikes. There's no bike I don't like.
Amen.
They all have attributes, and some of them are technological marvels, and some of them are just red blood, and they all offer us something. The Japanese bikes have the least amount of personality, but the most amount
This is
of
true.
excellence and contribution to mechanical excellence, So I love Japanese bikes. I've had a lot of nice ones. My favorite American bike of all time is the inline 4-cylinder, full-skirted Indian.
Right?
Nice.
I had a beautiful blue and white 1940.
Sweet.
And I always loved Triumphs. I still think that.
So you still got a soft spot for
for Triumphs on a mass production basis. They were the prettiest bikes. They just hit you just right for something that was the blue collar bike.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that you had to be a rich guy to own. I love the way Triumphs look.
And which is interesting because people think of the bad bikers as riding Harleys, yet what were they riding in the wild ones?
Well, there was almost no Harleys.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a British invasion.
Marlon was
Triumphs
on
and
a
BSAs.
Triumph. He was on a Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And with the little fairing headlight and everything, But I like Harleys. I have a beautiful FLH now. I'm going to ride it to Sturgis next Friday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that the one in the showroom?
Yeah. And I have an FXR Warbird with a twin cam in it. And I got a nice shovel head. I like Harleys.
What's the rarest bike you've ever owned?
The nicest bike I ever owned was I had a 06 Indian Camelback.
I don't know the Camel.
Well, that's like it has a gas tank on the rear fender.
Oh.
And that's why they call them Camelback. So it's almost like a little bicycle chassis, single cylinder, 2.5 horsepower. And mine was beautiful. It was painted in black epoxy, and then it was all the plating was actually nickel. So you had that brass patina to it. Beautiful bike.
Cool.
Very cool.
Well, considering you've owned so many bikes and currently own so many bikes, I'm curious to know what your answer will be. Do you currently have an up-the-butt bike?
So you heard I was in the Navy.
It's
Are you saying you had many up-the-butt
the
bikes?
first time you heard that expression.
You own a few motorcycles.
No, I just like them all. I keep moving around. One of my favorite bikes that is an MT-01.
Yeah, I
And
love that bike.
I bought it in Rotterdam back in 03. And that's before there was any available in Canada. And I brought it in. I got it through customs by writing a letter to say I was going to make parts for it for export. So that's how I got it through customs, because they never were U.S. smogged, right?
Right.
They never were Cal smogged either.
Yeah. So it's like a commerce investment, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's it. There's provisions. That's how you get great cars in.
Right.
You say, I'm going to make parts for BMW, da-da-da.
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
out of the first.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that Triumph in here is like that. That's the first water-cooled 3-cylinder Triumph in the United States, that trophy.
Wow.
I brought that in from Rotterdam, too.
Nice.
So then I rode it around on a dealer plate for years. And then I finally got it titled. And because you can't get through customs and you can't get through DMV if they never went to smog.
Right.
But I finally titled it and got a license plate on it.
Well, let's talk about the big project on your plate now. Also behind us on one of the work tables is it looks like a shoe with 3 wheels, and this is the new Sparrow 2. So a lot of people may know that you had the Sparrow and the Merlin, which were single-seater, 3-seater cars that in the 90s that were a little ahead of their time. And now that everyone else is caught up, and there are things at like charging stations, and people are into electric cars now. You're coming out with it again. And when did you first think of this Sparrow car?
Well, when I was a little kid, I used to build models, and my father and my uncle and my mother were very supportive, and I always used to tell my dad, someday I'm going to make cars. And he said, you're crazier than you look. It's impossible. Henry Ford already does that.
That passed for support back then.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dad. I'm joining the Navy. I'm out of here. But I don't need you anymore. Make it $40 a month.
He's like, I'm packing your bags.
Yeah, I'm out of here. But I always had an idea that I wanted to make a street vehicle. Mm-hmm. And I tried the electric motorcycle in the 70s, and then gas, during the gas lines. And that actually was not a bad idea. And I thought that was going to catch on and get big. And it was part entrepreneurial. I was trying to figure out a way to make a seat company bigger, have a bigger product line. Seats are kind of like a narrow focused product line. You can't do a lot with it.
Right.
And so then in the 90s, we also were doing really well in Castroville with the seat thing. And I felt we needed a bigger market, go into a larger industry rather than motorcycle accessories. And I knew and I had this idea of an electric car. And there was no real electric cars in those days. There was a few around, but they weren't really getting anywhere. And
Sorry, we are literally right next door.
That's the landing strip for Cal Fire right there. That's Cal Fire.
You're like a couple hundred yards away.
Yeah.
Airplanes flying past.
You can't get much closer.
No.
So the idea was come up with a car that didn't exist that would be under the radar of car makers. So try to get an invention that would be enough different where you would have a market, but the big guys didn't care about you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to say, I'm going to make 150 Fords, right? I mean, you're going to get hammered to death.
Sure.
And you can't make Leafs and you can't make Corvettes, but what can you do? So 91% of the time you get in a car, you're alone. 78% of Americans only travel 18 miles a day.
Yep.
And then by being a motorcycle rider, small is good. I mean, you can find a place to park it. It can be lighter weight. So then if you make a small car for one person out of fiberglass, it can be an ovalic spherical chassis. So there's no metal frame.
Say that again slower.
Ovalic spherical chassis.
Okay, got it.
So a helmet is really an ovalic sphere. Mm-hmm. So the car is an egg made out of fiberglass that you're sitting in it, but an egg is so strong that it doesn't need a chassis. You can bolt the three corners onto it. So you just got rid of a whole bunch of weight.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like you got rid of the whole weight of the rear axle and differential, for instance, which is heavy. And when you have a four-wheel car, you need a big metal chassis to compensate for the lateral torsion in the vehicle. But when you have a three-wheel car, it's like a tripod. It just sits on the ground with no lateral interference.
Huh.
So you don't need that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds for the rear axle and the extra wheel.
So you almost don't need because of its ovalic shaped like an egg. You almost don't need a skeleton. You can.
There's no metal frame.
Yeah, you can rely on the shape for
the egg is the
structural
egg is the chassis.
Wow.
The egg is the chassis.
Okay.
Like a helmet doesn't have any metal frame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
But it can take anything, almost anything. So the idea is you're losing weight when you make a bigger car, like a two-seater or a four-seater car, the opportunity of the ovalic sphere starts diminishing as you get larger. So the best way to make a strong egg is to keep the size down and keep the shape in it. So I wanted to come out with something that was unique and would have an appeal to a very small number of people. I would have my own market. I wasn't going to try to make Corvettes or F-150 Fords or Harley Davidsons. I was going to try to make a Sparrow. So the whole architecture in those days was, who's my market? Just tree huggers.
Yeah, we're from Santa Cruz. We know all about tree huggers.
Yeah, what's a tree hugger?
Or as my dad says, damn tree huggers.
I lived in Santa Cruz, and when I invented this car, I actually lived in Aptos.
Yeah.
And so basically, it was motorcycle riding tree huggers.
Yep.
That is a niche.
That's a niche. That's a niche. But see,
that niche.
But see, if you have low volume and it's handmade, that's all you need to get started.
Sure.
Right? So we came out with Sparrow, and it was lead acid cell batteries, because that's all there was still. And it was a forklift electric motor, DC motor.
Oh.
And there was no controllers. So we had a couple different engineers try to develop controllers for it. We ended up making about 300 Sparrows. And we made them all here in Hollister. We experimented in Castroville with our first Alpha cars and stuff. We moved here, we put it in a line. We made about 300 of them from 1998 to 03. Then that was actually a separate company called Corbin Motors. They went out of business in 03. So then nothing happened for a few years. I just was counting my losses. And I was kind of brokenhearted because the Sparrow was, my little contribution, a creativity thing. And I was really in love with the idea.
Can I point out real quick, from everything I've read, and you can confirm this, the reason that Corbin Motors came to an end wasn't because there wasn't a demand for the product. Sounds like a lot of people wanted the product, that you didn't have the ability to create all to fill the demand. So, I mean, you were there again with something at a time when people were wanting it.
That's exactly what happened. In other words, the product was really a great idea. We had no trouble finding buyers. We were literally amazed. I'll tell you my San Francisco Auto Show story.
Yeah.
So Thanksgiving is always a San Francisco Auto Show. So 96, we're going to go to San Francisco Auto Show with the Sparrow. The Alpha Sparrow, called the Bug Eye, had two little Healy lights in the front. So we put it in our little Hallmark trailer, and I towed it up there with my car. And I get in the parking garage underneath the Moscone Center, and I'm driving the Sparrow down the aisle. This big, giant Teamster, man, this guy, he's like 6'4", he's about 6 feet wide. He says, "Hey, you, where you going in that thing? What is that thing?" And I open the door, the windows weren't even working. I go, "Well, I'm Mike Corbin. I got a booth over there next to Buick." He says, and I thought the guy was going to pull me out of the car and beat me up, And he says, "That's the coolest car I ever saw." And this guy's like 400 pounds, right? He goes, "Can I get in it?" I go,
Can you?
I said, "If you can't get out, you're going to be out $14,000.
I have to soap you up to get out of there.
Yeah.
So my son and I, my daughter-in-law and my wife, sat with that car in a 20 by 20 booth for one Saturday and sold 100 cars.
Wow.
No one had ever seen the thing before.
Yeah.
Cool.
And everyone was a tree hugger,
Went to the right place to sell
went to the right place.
Yeah.
And, we knew that, like, there's no better place to invent something than Silicon Valley and San Francisco.
You think you could have sold 200 of those if you went to a Berkeley auto show?
We had Berkeley dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had an interesting diet.
Yeah.
It just happened, and it was something that San Francisco really went for. But what happened is we couldn't make them, and then we started taking preferred investors, and we couldn't make cars that retained earnings. In other words, we couldn't make a car at a profit. So every time we got an order for $13,000 or $14,000, it cost us $70,000 to build the car.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the depth of finance to deal that, but it looked like it was imminent. Like that was what they call the IPO era, where everybody says, "Oh, we're going to go to Wall Street, you guys are going to get billions, and you can take some of it and make the car better, and you can keep some of it, and you're going to have all these board of directors." But it never really happened because you have to come up with a whole bunch of money to give it to the IPO lawyers first.
Yeah.
So we never quite did that. So the short end of the stick is we never were able to, we sold cars, we sold 300 of them. A few of them had electronics problems, but basically they're still beloved, and there's a whole support system out there on the internet. They support each other. We think there's about 200 of them still on the road.
Cool.
Nice.
But this time, I took the business model is retained earnings. So this car has no investors, no partners, no orders, no deposits, no commitments, and no dealers. Mm-hmm. So this is all paid for. So those gray pieces you're looking at over there, that's about $300,000 right there. But they came out of epoxy molds out back. So in other words, we made a wooden model, then we blew it apart. Now we have molds. Now that car is almost ready to be assembled in September. As soon as I get back to Sturgis, I'm going to put it back together and drive it around.
Cool.
But the test car you saw in the showroom has the modern stuff in it. So this car runs on lithium-ion batteries. It runs on an AC motor and an AC controller. It's three-phase AC. So this car drivetrain is right at the state-of-the-art of what you call energy density.
And where are you getting that drivetrain from?
Well, the motor is HP Performance, and the batteries are Interdel. And they are made in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Zero Electric Motorcycles is the West Coast distributor for Interdel. So we worked with Richard on that. Mm-hmm. So we have a lithium-ion manganese cobalt battery system, so 20 kW. So this car will do better than most electric cars, where it'll actually go about 150 miles per charge, and it'll go 84 miles an hour.
That's sweet.
Well, okay, that's the number I was waiting to hear. I mean, you're basically wrap yourself in fiberglass, and you're sitting on a wheel and 84 miles an hour. Wow.
Sounds like fun to me.
But see, the thing is, we bring you all kinds of additional value. Like when you stop and get ready to get out of the car, you get 20 new friends.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I tell people, if you don't want to talk to anybody, you got to practice getting out of the car, locking it, and walking away real quick.
No doubt.
Because you're going to be all day talking about it. But what it really is because it's an ovalic sphere of fiberglass, and all the weight is in the drivetrain and the passenger, the car itself doesn't weigh much, like a couple 100 pounds, right? The battery's the heaviest thing at 377.
Wow.
That car only weighs 1,000 pounds. And it's extremely aerodynamic. If you can look at some of the golf balling and the shaping, that's the bumper. That's pretty pointed. So what you get is 1,000-pound car moving one person. So you have less density. In other words, the mass has been reduced in size and weight. Mm-hmm. So that car actually gets the equivalent of 233 miles to the gallon.
Shit.
That's awesome.
That's up there with Vetter Challenge numbers.
Yeah. We could win the Vetter Challenge with a production Sparrow.
Nice.
So
You hear that,
Is
Vetter?
it fun to ride, though?
I'm curious.
Heard it first here.
Yeah.
Vet's a good friend of mine.
Oh yeah.
He knows. He's waiting for me.
So this is the Sparrow we're looking at, and I always tell everyone when they come here, always look up because the cool shit is on the top of the shelves.
Yeah.
Is that a Merlin up there? Is that a Merlin body?
No, that body, that's a wooden model. And that was going to be Sparrow 2.
Oh, okay.
That was going to be our new Sparrow until we found out that we have to go to lithium-ion batteries.
Okay.
Then that design didn't work, and we made a better design. So that was one of the interim developments. That's all wood and Bondo.
Cool. So you had the Merlin that was running off of a V-twin engine.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you didn't pursue that?
The Merlin went out of business with the Sparrow company.
Okay.
So that was I came out with Merlin trying to save Sparrow. Mm-hmm. In other words, I could get more money from Merlins, like 24 grand.
Right.
And I could get orders. Like, I think we went to Sturgis one year and we had something like $7 million worth of orders in one weekend.
Wow.
For the Merlin Roadster. But we couldn't make them. You know,
Right.
like we got home, the company was so weak already from not being at retained earnings for that many years that there was no way to go. I mean, we just were in the hole deep, lots of millions.
It looked so cool because you could see the engine in the front.
Oh, you
It was
could.
beautiful.
If we could have afforded to put that factory together, we'd still be making them like crazy. People still want them every day.
So is that something in the future, you think, with the Sparrow 2 coming back?
Well, I'm 71 years old, and what I'm doing with Sparrow is taking what I think is the ultimate product. Like making a car like the Morgan three-wheeler, for instance,
Right.
is a lot of fun. There's a lot of red blood there. That's really cool. Morgan's doing a great job. We think Merlin was more American, you know.
Yeah.
But I love Morgans. I love what they're doing. But I see myself trying to make a contribution to the solar revolution.
Right. Wait, you sound like a tree hugger right now.
I always was sort of a tree hugger.
You can be a lot of things. You can hug a tree and
Yeah, you can hug a
still
tree.
eat a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I was a vegetarian for a while, and my marathon time went up and up and up, and I had to start eating fish again.
So you're one-offing these. This is the plan.
Well, this car is this is going to be the alpha car.
Okay.
So those parts are from molds.
Yep.
And those molds are out back. They're epoxy molds, so they're ready to go. So after I make the first car, then I can actually make one car every day.
Wow.
But my plan for 16 is to start making the first 100 cars, and I call them the Beta Club. So
All
I'm
right.
going to get mine done. And like I say, the drivetrain for that car is in my test car you see in the showroom. It's an old Sparrow, but it's got all the modern junk in it, right? So I already have all my road testing done and my math and everything. And I tested the same components that are going in that car. So I'm going to drive that around. I'm going to start doing the marketing on the internet. It's going to be all direct sales. The only way you can get one is you come here and pick it up.
Yep.
So we're a motorcycle license manufacturer and motorcycle license dealer here at Corbin. We don't want any dealers, and we don't even really want to sell too many cars outside of Northern California
Yeah.
for the first 100 cars.
It's for proximity.
Yeah, well, you know, if there is a problem, I can pick it up and fix it. You
Sure.
can come here. They almost need nothing,
Yeah.
you know, in service and maintenance. My other car, I went halfway around the world, 12,500 miles. Cost $800 worth of electricity to go halfway around the world.
It's pretty
awesome.
Pretty good.
I checked tire pressure 3 times, keep them at 40 psi, and I washed the car
Wow.
halfway around the world.
That dirt was dragging you down a little bit, huh?
I like shiny. I like shiny. I can't stand it if there's a bug on it.
Yeah.
Bagel wants to know if you do financing.
You saw the
it
gears
so?
turning in my head.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
we're not even going to offer financing. Actually, you got to run your credit card, or you could go to your credit union.
Let me tell you why I think you're going to succeed. There's something that I have a lot of respect for you for, because you mentioned earlier that you went to Harvard. At what age did you go to Harvard?
I went to Harvard when I was old. Let me see.
Yes.
I went to Harvard when I was around 60.
What I love is that you already have a successful business, but how can you make yourself better and more prepared? And the fact that you then went to Harvard Business School to learn how to do things better and to learn from mistakes that you've made and how to succeed. I love that about you.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, to have your own business, you need to get as much knowledge. You got to be a student of
Yeah.
the world. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to understand your customers, and that's what I think we do better than any other company in the motorcycle industry, except Polaris. They're really good at it. And you got to understand your technology. You got to invent technologies. Like all the technology we use here, we invented that. We have patents on it. And then you realize, man, these business school guys are way ahead of you. They know stuff you don't know. And if I didn't go to Harvard, we never would have made it through the 08 collapse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never would have made it. No, not a prayer in hell.
I had a quick question for you that brings it back. I was wondering when we had the collapse in the economy, and we've lost almost all of our dealers in Santa Cruz. A lot of shops have closed. I was wondering, though, did that hit you as well, or were people buying accessories for their older bikes because they couldn't buy a newer bike?
Yeah, we got creamed.
Did you? Okay.
We we downsized 40% very rapidly.
Wow.
And if we hadn't have done that, we would have burned ourselves down procrastinating, and that's what a lot of companies did. The industry downsized from 500,000 bikes a year down to about 300,000 bikes a year. So you lost about 40% of your industry, and it hasn't come back yet. You're still at 300,000 new bikes a year now, and that's up about 15,000 from last year, and that's been going on since 2009. So those guys that went out of business haven't even been replaced yet, if you notice that.
You got a point.
Yep.
And the biggest problem we have is the younger people coming in. There are not really that many coming in.
Well, yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure everyone knew about this. So when Bagel orders his Sparrow 2, does he get to pick what color seat design?
You can, this.
There you go.
You can pick what color. They're all going to be the same color. You can pick the pinstriping on it and the color of leather.
It's kind of like the Henry Ford.
Yes.
You can have any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah. But we're going to make, it's kind of a club deal. Like there's 100 cars, and we're watching your batteries on the internet, on your cell phone, making sure that you're not letting them not get charged or something, and we can tell what your car is doing. And we want you to communicate with us, be it kind of a club member. You know, you get a little trophy and everything with your VIN. And there's only 100 tags of that tag, that VIN tag. And we're going to learn a lot. But this is like a great marketing strategy because it's almost exclusive. Like I got one of the new Sparrows. Those are your best sales guys. Like, who sells the Teslas? People that own them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we don't have money to go out and set up a big dealer network and set up all the Honda dealers in California. So we just decided, let's make a club out of it.
You're doing it right.
Yeah. And there's no borrowing. There's no leverage on the supply side. There's no partners, and there's no deposits. So, like, we never owe anybody anything, right? And then every time we sell a car, we actually put $1,000 minimum into our savings account. So that's what you call a retained earnings business model. Almost nobody believes it will work. But it does. That's how the seat company works. We have certain criteria of sustainability, and the last time I didn't know about that stuff, and I didn't do it with Sparrow 1, and that's what made the company fail eventually.
Right.
So I learned that whole lesson, like, yeah, you can get a great invention, you can bite off more than you can chew. Okay, we got to have a digestive tract for that. We got to know how to do it.
Too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people in the trade work do like the opposite of what you do, where they're really good at what they, with their hands, they, are just top, their field, and everybody knows how good they are, and then they get tired of making money for someone else. So they decide the best idea is to like, well, I'm so good at this, let me just own my own company. And then I feel like that's like a huge mistake, and I've seen it so many times where these excellent, trade workers or whatever all of a sudden become terrible business people because they have no concept of the business side of owning a business, dealing with customers, finance, payroll, even just talking to people, because they're buried, under a house somewhere for days, and they're really good at that. And that's what produces the money. So, and then there's like you're saying when we first got here, where you don't sleep. This is where you eat, sleep, and shit. Like
this is not a 40-hour work week. This is a life.
It's a lifestyle. Yeah. And
but think about it. Like, what better way to live than have gotten up every day and did what you just love to do?
Yeah, it's great.
Even in 08.
Yeah.
In 08. You go, and there was another. It was a post-Carter recession. 1980 was just as bad, not as bad, but proportionally, it was just as bad for me. But you come into your office, you're the CEO, right? So no, I ride motorcycles and I invent stuff. No, you're a CEO. You're not going to be doing any of that if you don't get through 08.
Yeah.
So it's everything. Like, you got 100 people you got to make payroll for. It's like $80,000 a week, right?
Yeah.
And you got 150 motorcycle seats a day. You got to get them out the door, and they got to be good. But you have to do everything, and that's like my assistant. She says, so this guy wants to talk to you. I said, door's open, send him in. I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
But you have to do it all. And I know exactly where you're coming from. I was a small-time electrical contractor. And, I mean, in those days, I wired a guy's house one time, and he didn't pay me. So I didn't know what to do.
You pull all the wires out.
I did.
Go back and yank those fuckers out.
I backed my pickup truck up to his house. I stood on a tailgate, and I started taking his meter off his house. The lights all went out. He come around, and he goes, what are you doing? I said, I'm taking my stuff back.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean? I said, well, you owe me $2,000, and you owed me $2,000 for 3 months, and I got little kids, and it's starting to snow out, and, you know, we're cold. We don't have any money for food, and now your house is going to have no heat. Yeah, not going to have any light either.
Yeah.
He paid me real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 70, how do you find the energy to do all of this? Because like I want to like be there when I get there. Like
You don't have any choice.
Yeah.
You know, keep yourself desperate. Like, you know, no, you know what's the problem with people is they're always trying to find a way to get comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
momentum is good once you have it.
Stay
You wanna
hungry
keep
and
it
stay,
going.
you know, like you're 70 years old, go start a car company.
Yeah. I'm putting that in my mind right now.
Yeah,
Start a
do
car
it.
Company.
No, like
Yeah.
start one with no wheels.
Yeah.
That gravitates.
Yeah, there you go.
It's cooler than a sparrow. Ain't got any
Right.
rubber on it, right?
There you go.
We call it, I can't believe it's much better than a sparrow.
Yeah.
Kind of like I can't believe it's not butter. Kind of thing.
But Mark Twain said it. You know, if you do what you love doing, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, there you go.
But you can't be a pansy. You can't just say, I'm gonna paint daisies and sell them down at the wharf. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I didn't sell
Wait,
it.
well, hold on. That is almost exactly what Knock does, just so you know.
Close to what I do.
I didn't.
Close to what I do.
Well, so what do you do?
I'm a production artist. I'm a graphic designer.
Down at the boardwalk, which is next to the wharf.
I used to make kitchen knives.
And
I got tired of doing
He
that.
made me a decal for my motorcycle.
Yeah, he paints the signs at the boardwalk.
Well, what's wrong with that? We need signs. Where do you buy your fish, right?
Yeah, well, you know.
Have you ever painted a daisy?
I think I might have.
Yeah, see, so there you go.
Digitally though, not
daisy or two.
not like with paintbrush.
But you
It's all
did make a
digital these
pumpkin,
days.
that's for
I
sure.
did make a pumpkin. Yeah.
Well, Mike, I think it's amazing what you're doing. I appreciate that you're
Thank you,
a
Liza.
part of our community and that you made yourself available to us.
Well, we love being in the motorcycle business. We like what you're doing, and we like to have people come here and see how well our staff takes care of them, and kind of perpetuate the art for them.
I wish there were more people who would see how you're running with the service, how you're running this business, and replicate it, because I don't know anyone else who's doing this. I mean, just the fact that as you come to the factory and are waiting for your seat to get made, what are you going to do while you're waiting for your seat? Oh, well, it's easy. We put in a 50s diner that you can sit down and have a meal, and then go ahead and take a self-guided tour of the entire factory and watch everybody working. Nobody does that. It's really cool. I love just wandering through here and seeing everything happening.
Yeah, we love doing it. We love having the people come here, and first of all, it gives them a deep appreciation of the people that build the seats.
Mm-hmm.
It's the guy out there on the sewing machine and the rivet gun that is your true artist.
Yeah.
But we're going to do the same thing with the Sparrow. You're going to come here and you can watch your car being made, and underneath the hood, everybody who works on your car will sign it. And we're going to do that with the Sparrow too.
And carve it to their ass.
No, we're going to convince them that the seat in there is already good, and we're going to learn you to plug that thing in when you're not using it.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Well, I recommend to people who are either local or to people who are coming through, because a lot of people hop on their bikes and go travel and make California one of their destinations. This is a must see, that you must stop here in Hollister and visit the factory. And the fact that you're open on Saturdays too is really awesome. So yeah, I thank you again for just everything you've done. You've been a role model and an icon in the motorcycle community, and for sharing your stories. I hope maybe we'll come back out again and drag even more stories, because I have a feeling you've got a lot of good gems in there.
Well, we maybe ought to come once we get the Sparrow line done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll do a little bit of test riding. And
Oh my God.
Sure.
and we'll show you how to get 233 miles to the gallon.
And maybe we can pull the MTO1 out.
It actually starts fairly nicely. Yeah.
How's that Indian Scout in there?
The Indian Scout's a nice bike.
that thing is
we
so
bought that
sweet.
bike, and we got the seats developed for it. We're taking it to Sturgis with us, and it's a really great bike.
The thing is beautiful. That's
way cool
my
bike.
up the butt bike.
It's kind of like if you have a Street Glide in your garage and then a Scout next to it. It's almost the perfect combination of, like it replaces your need for a Sportster in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and for anyone who wants to see what's going on here or to follow you, they can just go to your website, corbin.com.
Yep.
Which is actually a very well-built site. There's a lot to see just on the site itself. And, hey, if you want to see what a Corbin seat would look like on your bike, go do the virtual seat maker on there.
Yep, that's right. We finally got that thing working. We've been working on it for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, Zach, you want to tell people how to reach us?
You can find us online at motorcyclesandmisfits.com, on Facebook at Read-Cycle Santa Cruz. Send us an email at recyclemotorcyclegarage@gmail.com, and you can call and leave us a voicemail at
831-291-5112. And
Order pizza.
thought I was going to make it through.
I didn't want to be the one to do it. I was
Had to do
it.
Hey, call and share your Corbin stories. I want to hear if anyone else has had good and bad experiences. I've never heard a bad experience other than Knock, who says he sat on a seat once, but
Yeah,
it
it
was
was the
pushing
wrong
on
one.
his thigh.
It wasn't made for me. All right, I'm just saying it was a sport bike, and I was borrowed. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, seats,
didn't hate it.
seats
I
are
just-
like
it wasn't
shoes.
for me.
Not every shoe is going to fit you
Right.
perfect.
Right.
But these Corbin seats, damn near perfect fit almost every time.
Sure.
So on that note, thank you everyone for listening. I think we're going to finish this up. This is Liza.
I am Zach.
Mike.
Your old friend Jonathan.
This is Knock.
Bagel.
Mike Corbin, thanks for coming.
And we are out.
Cool.